country. It's all, I have a right to infect my house, to infect my community, to kill everybody.
It's like drunk drivers. You don't have the right to go out and drink and drive and put everybody else at risk, including your own life at risk.
Part of the metric here is ignorance, but part of it is also arrogance, this misplaced sense of righteous indignation and resistance that they believe is a false manifestation of freedom.
And all these people were saying, I don't want to put this stuff in my body. They're out drinking on the weekend and putting other substances in their bodies. That's way worse for them than a vaccine. So come on, let's be real.
Let's be real. Wasn't that fun? We really gave it to those mindless hicks out in the sticks, right? The message, instead of getting vaxxed, these white mouth-breathing cretins are speaking in tongues, handling snakes, and watching Fox News. And therefore, they're killing the rest of us. But then that narrative changed. Something happened. After people like me pointed out that actually it's not white folks running from the vaccine, we all know white people can't run. It's black folks and brown folks, too, who are pretty shy about getting the vax. In fact, the rates of unvaccinated is way higher among minorities in cities like Manhattan. According to New York City's own data, about 2/3 of adults are vaccinated, but black New Yorkers are at 31% and Hispanics 42%. So now the obnoxious finger-pointing mysteriously disappeared, much like one of Governor Cuomo's hands during a selfie. Yeah, you can clap at that. I'll take it. And once again, the press hoped no one would notice how wrong they were on this. Go ahead, ask them, are non-white vaccine residents just as stupid, arrogant, and murderous as the whites? We're waiting. Morning Joe, Chris Cuomo, Don Lemon. How about you, President Joe? Shouldn't you be as upset at those folks in the city as you are in the sticks? Or does that require consistency, things the Democrats lack? So why did the media focus only on white right-wingers? Well, it creates endless opportunities for self-righteous drivel from TV hosts. I should know. It could be anything. Climate, taxes, law enforcement, gender, race. They turn everything into a far less entertaining version of pro wrestling. They always need a villain. Okay. So much like Amtrak, the truth doesn't turn a profit for cable news, which may be why the media only likes to do the fun racist stuff. Yeah, it must be the fans of Larry the Cable Guy who are killing us. These non-vax are the same idiots who voted for Trump, speeding around in pickup trucks, listening to country music while brushing their remaining teeth with grits and gravy. They probably even like America, God forbid. But now the data says otherwise. So where's the media on this? They're not even bothering to address the black communities. But I guess if you can't divide us, then why bother doing anything helpful? I mean, you could help get the pro-vax message to black communities, but I guess it's more fun to cleave a country in two. I wonder, in New York City, Bill de Blasio just introduced a vaccine passport to the city, where Trump got 23% of the vote in 2020, so it's not the righties that de Blasio's after. The new passport system calls for showing proof of vax to enter gyms, restaurants, and entertainment venues, which, judging by the stats I just mentioned, effectively bans most blacks, just like the Dems did to them during the classic Jim Crow days. So who's the Hitler now? If 70% of black New Yorkers are unvaccinated, they're the ones getting banned. Talk about white privilege. Imagine if Trump had done this. CNN would be handing out the pitchforks. By the way, it's odd that the left says you can't be expected to present an ID to vote, but you must show vaccine proof everywhere else. Why not allow absentee vaccine proof with no signature verification dropped off by people who hate vaccines? I mean, there's a hole in their plan you could drive a bus full of illegal immigrants through. So you can't demand proof of vaccine at the border, but you can do it at Times Square's Applebee's. Makes sense. Their jalapeno poppers are more dangerous than any virus from a Chinese lab. Be close to a bathroom. So will Chris Cuomo call the 70% of black New Yorkers ignorant? What do you think? He's probably too busy creating strategies to defend his brother from grabbing women's breasts. I suppose the vaccinated white liberals must be secretly pleased. More open seats at the bar, more empty tables at their favorite trendy restaurant. And it's nice to have a break from all the murders their policies have led to. But if you judge the Dems the way they judge everyone else, then this would be racist. But we aren't Democrats, thank God. We just want people to do the right thing. Black, white, you name it. I think it's a good thing to get the vaccine if your doctor says you can. I know people who are gung-ho about it and people who are hell no about it. Some of these people I love, but none of them fit into the neat little categories the media loves to bash. The press just feels good about making other people feel bad. Conflict is their vaccine against loneliness. Thank God we're blessed with a natural immunity against this. It's called seeing everyone as Americans.
Period.
Let's welcome tonight's guest. If he was a duck, he would take friends out to dinner so he could put it on his bill. Former director of the National Economic Council and host of Kudlow on Fox Business, Larry Kudlow. She's armed to the teeth, and we're talking about her biceps. Fox News contributor, look at that. Wow, Laura Trump. She's like a sponge. She soaks up knowledge, but needs to be disinfected every so often. Fox News contributor, Cat Tip. And his tap dances cause avalanches. My massive sidekick and host of Dubstep on Fox Station, Tyrus. All right, Larry, good to see you. You look dapper as always.
Thank you, Greg.
Your biceps aren't as big as Laura's, but hey, you know.
We can work on that.
Yeah, exactly. You could be a great trainer. You know, what do you say about the fact that it's harder to get into Fridays than into our country?
Look, I just want to say, blame Biden and Harris. They're the anti-vaxxers because they attacked the Trump vaccine last fall.
I think that's true.
Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
And point number 2 on this subject, if you want to rally people to get vaccines, and I agree with you, you should get it, but talk to your doctor first and so forth, put Donald Trump back on Twitter and Facebook because 100 million people will listen to him.
Oh, that's a good point.
And that's where they should go. And if Biden had any grace or, heaven forbid, any sense of unity, that's the sort of thing that he would do instead of complaining about Ron DeSantis and others who basically have the story completely right. And by the way, Joe Biden has lost 18 points among independents in the last couple of months. 18 points. Do you know how hard that is in politics to drop 18 points in just a wee bit of time?
Yeah.
Nobody basically likes what he's doing. So he needs to ask Donald Trump for some help.
But the upside for Joe Biden is he's not aware of it. It's like he doesn't know he lost it. It's like, hey, what's going on? I am president, right? Larry brings up the greatest point, that somehow the Democrats were pretending that President Trump was actually making the vaccine, like somehow in an office in Mar-a-Lago.
Right.
You know, there's the golf clubs, and then there's the little test tubes.
It's like he was literally in the lab there making the vaccine and was like, this is beautiful. We're going to give this to Americans. Like, of course he wasn't. But Larry's right. It was Joe Biden and Kamala Harris who, throughout the entire campaign, made people very questioning of this vaccine. Was this going to be something that would be safe for Americans to take? Now here we are all these months later, and they're shoving it down everybody's throat. So which one is it?
Yeah.
Should we have it or should we not? Of course it is safe. Of course it is effective. Of course it is the reason our country and the world are finally getting back to normal.
Right.
Thank you, President Trump, for that.
There you go. Kat, you're libertarian and probably drunk.
No.
Thank you. That's the best compliment that I've ever gotten. He's not drunk. Aw.
What do you make of this vaccine passport?
Well, obviously, I have concerns about it, but also I think businesses can do what they want. I think we're in the position that we are in, though, because of many reasons. A major one is the messaging has been so horrible on all of this, from, media, from politicians, from, the health experts. Like, I am far more careful about what I say, and I work for you. Like, it's... I mean, what I say here, it means what I say here has far less consequences than what the CDC, than what the CDC director gets on and says, okay, masks, not for vaccinated. Oh, yes, masks for vaccinated. People, it's just like scrambling information in their head. It's my job to pay attention to this stuff. And sometimes I'm like, okay, so what's the rules?
Yeah.
So I think that that's been very, very, very confusing for a lot of people. Just say, okay, the vaccines are the answer in terms of us getting over this. It's more so than masks or lockdowns or any of that, and they should just be promoting that message clearly. It's really that simple.
Fauci is not acting like the guy in charge. He's acting like a host on a talk show. I mean, I'm sorry, a guest on a talk show. A guest on a talk show will often just say, oh, I need an answer for this. And if I just kind of agree with the person asking the question by saying, that you make a great point, or exactly, that's all Fauci does. So people guide him in the answers that he's making. He'll go, absolutely right, Don. And then he'll blah, 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 blah. And then it's like, then he will get asked a different question that's different than that. And he goes, that's a good point, too. That's a very good point. Oh, I almost have him down. That's a very good point. No, that doesn't sound like him. You know, Tyrus, I was workshopping on television. Not a lot of people do that.
Right. Okay.
You know the point.
I'll take it from here. Because before I was going to compliment you, and now I'm going to reluctantly compliment you. Great monologue.
Thank you.
Thank you for having the balls to be honest, and because no one's going to say that it's us that are not getting stuff, and that needs to be brought up. And you made a great point too about bringing people together. How much of a great thing would it have been, or would it be for Biden and Trump to be on the stand together and say, hey, we get vaccinated, America, you get vaccinated. A lot of things will be accomplished with that. And in the spirit of bringing things together, you want a vaccine passport and you want IDs? In California, you can get a little sticker that says organ donor on your driver's license. So if you're in a pile of slop in an accident, they're like, oh, we can save some of this stuff. Get your ID and put your vaccination sticker on there. So you can go to Applebee's and you can go on a plane and you're vaccinated and you have your ID and you can vote and know that other people around you are vaccinated while they vote with you. That's what happens when you put good ideas together. But unfortunately, that's not what we're seeing.
You know, it's getting a kudo from Tyrus is so awesome to me because you know how afraid of him that I really am.
Yeah, I saw him in the hallway. I was like, hey, I was like, oh. So why is your wallet out? Sorry.
But I will say this. The other day, a couple of weeks ago, Biden actually said the vaccine was originated under a Republican administration.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, he couldn't bring himself to say the T word. Just say it, Trump. It was his vaccine.
It's hard to say.
Yeah, it's very hard.
Yeah.
All right, we got so much more. Up next, her love for America is tried and true as she takes home the gold for the red, white, and made America proud and shouted her love for it out loud. While other athletes knelt, she said what she felt. I speak of Olympic wrestler Tamara Mensah-Stock, who after winning the gold medal in the 68-kilogram final in Tokyo, was asked a simple question. How does it feel to represent your country like this? Her answer was amazing and refreshing. However, we couldn't get NBC to let us use the footage. So we opted for the next best thing, a factually accurate reenactment.
It feels amazing. I love representing the U.S. I freaking love living there. I love it, and I'm so happy I get to represent USA. Love it.
It's really not the same. I don't feel like it's the same, but it was the best we could do with Joe Mackey. I say let's put her on the swimsuit issue, the athlete, but not Joe Mackey. Now, I'm told the women's soccer team all passed out when they heard her interview. Here's the champ saying some other great stuff we did get approval for. So while other winners and losers have been more concerned about lecturing us with woke platitudes, this feisty hero injected a much-needed dose of patriotism. And that's an injection we approve of, not like the ones I got in my lips from that guy in a van. Last time I get Botox from one of Kat's dealers. So with just a few words about being proud of her country, this woman became the most likable American athlete at the Olympics. Well, since that time, I won the gold in the 90s. Granted, I didn't win it at the Olympics. It was in a local park around 3 a.m. But boy, could those hobos raced like their lives depended on it. Larry, isn't it amazing that I could take even a wholesome story like this and make it dark and dirty and ugly?
It's an admirable trait, I guess.
Yes. I'm sorry. I apologize. I leapt out of my chair, Tyrus, when I saw that.
Oh, that must have been funny. Did you get hurt? Because your feet don't touch the ground, so it's like then your wife had to pick you up and put you back in and put your little bib back on your booster seat. And
it's so funny because it's true.
Greg fell again, pick him up.
I can see myself in your stories.
Can we just... Can we just try to rescue this segment?
All right.
I mean, this woman is so fabulous.
Yes.
Talking about how much she loves America, draping the flag over her shoulders. But also, she had a great message in there. You know, you can be female, you can be African American. You work hard and you can succeed. And your dreams will be met. She's not a victim. She's not screaming about race. As you said, she's not lecturing people. She just worked hard to get done what her dream was. And that's a role model.
Yeah.
We shouldn't forget that. This is America. And young, black, female wrestlers can succeed to the top of the ladder if they work hard at it. That is a lesson for everybody. It's a universal lesson.
Also, Laura, it's you don't when you see somebody who expresses a very positive attitude about anything involved in work or career or whatever, you know that it's absolutely impossible for them to fail because there's just no every challenge always becomes like just something that they deal with. It's not they're not, you can't see that person complaining. I mean, she could complain, but she always.
But Larry's so right. I loved about this whole kind of speech that she gave there, and her jubilation was all about the hard work that she put in. I listened to my coaches, and I never thought I would have to work that hard, but it paid off. And so often I feel like we just allow our younger generations to get away without doing any work. Let's make it easy for them. Let's coddle them. Let's make it comfortable for them. Let's put in the hard work like this woman and get a gold medal. It was amazing, amazing to hear.
Yo, Kat, you can't help it. You have to contrast this attitude with what I would call the activist persona, where everything is problematic, even the stuff that's fun. Okay, everything that's fun in life. Oh, sports, entertainment, holidays, you know, everything is part of the struggle, right? So you can't enjoy it. So all of the protesting athletes, you're at the Olympics, but no, it's about the struggle. She reminded everybody, no, it's the Olympics.
Right, and I think that what is really jarring is that the fact that this news is news, okay? Like, she's standing there wearing the USA and has a flag around, and they're like, so what do you think of the USA? She's like, I love it. And everyone's like, what?
What? We can't cover that.
You said what? Like she's competing for the USA. I like living there. That's what's really amazing. What she said was amazing. Her message was amazing. I loved it. But how crazy have things gotten that we're saying that about that? Like, that's punk rock to do.
Exactly. It is punk rock to be a patriot, Tyrus. It reminded me of being a child watching the Olympics, and the athletes were just like embulant. Is that the word?
One, an American hero was born, and she should be on. If Wheaties is still pudding, she should be on every cereal box in this country. Not just for winning the gold, because unfortunately we've all been conditioned. And as great as you are, Elle, I disagree with you. She never once mentioned the color of her skin. Not one time, because it's not about that. She is for everybody. I don't care what color you are, what little girl, what little boy is sitting somewhere going, I want to be like that. It wasn't just for us. She's a hero that everyone can get behind. She says, I was an American. I did it for my family. I wish my father was here. She never once said, as a black woman. The thing that bothered me the most was that every news outlet had to remind us that she was the first. When are we going to realize that Americans' colors are red, white, and blue? They're not black, yellow, and red.
There you go.
And that's what made her so damn special. And you can't take that from her.
I can be an Olympian.
No, you can't.
But
well,
these are
a commentator, yes, you could.
These are the people we should be paying attention to,
Yeah.
not the Gwen Berries, not giving them the time, on news. This is the person that we should be giving all the attention to, athletes like this.
I hope she should get on the box.
WWE, there it is. Go get it. NWA, Billy, let's get the check out. We can get her. Somebody needs to get her.
Yeah. I could wrestle her.
No. No, actually, yes. I would like to see that. I will be there to carry what's left of you. I'll make sure you have your organ donor sticker on your
This
card.
should be the first bout for NWA.
Yeah.
You call Billy.
We'll get on it.
Yes. We're
And
friends.
just sign a few waivers and let's do this.
All right. Up next, with COVID getting more severe, down goes the party of the year. We must take steps to protect our scientists and take swift and positive action to counter the growing wave of far-right anti-science aggression. Well, that new law won't get abused at all. I actually don't mind Fauci, but now I'm calling him a stupid. Be sure and bleep that, because I don't want to get in trouble. Meanwhile, a major backlash to Obama's birthday bash, and in its wake, a lonely cake. Surging cases of the Delta variant have pooped on Barack Obama's super sweet 60th party in Martha's Vineyard. So instead of Obama's party favors, including ventilators, he's changing plans. According to the New York Post, the Obamas were planning on having 700 people in attendance, but many thought he was setting a bad example, meaning someone leaked it to the press. So they're shrinking the shindig. So how will celebrity guests handle missing Obama blow out the candle? The scaled-back party means the planners will have to make some hard choices. Well, that was quick. Laura, what do you make of hate crimes for bashing scientists?
Are we still calling him a scientist
Yes.
now?
Yes.
I mean, really?
Yeah.
If we're not allowed to criticize somebody that has basically given us whiplash from changing his position on things over the past year and a half, I mean, I don't even know. This sounds like a communist idea. If anything, this is crazy.
It is crazy. It is. It's actually like an author. Again, I hate doing the what if Trump said this?
Oh my God.
But this is an authoritarian grab. Also, what if Trump threw a 700 person birthday party for
What if he had a 200-person birthday party?
Yes.
They would have gone crazy over it. But of course, it's okay because it's for Obama.
Yeah.
And the thing that bothers me about it is he wouldn't have done anything if not for people actually calling him out on it. He just wanted to kind of fly under the radar about it and just get it over with. And then he wasn't going to have, any consequences for it. But, he got called out.
Kat, we were for the party.
Yes.
We were for the party because we feel that everybody, the party was a great signal to America that we're getting back to normal. It's like, if Obama can have 700 people, I can have 7 people into my hot tub.
Yes.
And that's usually half the capacity.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
unless we get
view of capacity.
Let's the plus size models come over.
Everybody. Yeah, and you know what? I feel bad because also, can you imagine how stressful that it must be to have 500 friends?
Yes.
That's incredibly stressful. And why do that if you can't have a massive party with all of them?
Right.
I mean, how does he have time to do anything else but send happy birthday texts if you have that many friends?
Also,
and truly, just do it. He was vaccinated and tested. Come on. It's never going to be any safer than that. Throw the party, get wasted, live your best Barack Obama life.
Yes, but you know what? You know what else? If he had thrown the party, 500 famous people would be busy for one day. Imagine that. They'd be all the famous people would disappear. They wouldn't be on Twitter.
But inviting 700 people with the middle of this COVID thing, whatever it is so unwoke.
Yes.
That there's a part of me that kind of says you should have gone.
That's
for
what I'm
it.
saying.
You should have gone for it. I mean, he kind of got caught with his mask off and his pants down.
Yeah.
But whatever.
That's happened to me.
700 people in Martha's Vineyard when all the woke people are screaming, and you can't challenge the science because you're going to go to jail. There's something kind of semi-cool about that.
Yeah, he should have just made it a 10 to 14-day rager. That way they're all quarantined there.
There you go.
That's the best kind of party.
Yeah.
That's the best kind of party. And people can show up and leave. And some people can end up sleeping on the floor. It's like...
is he asleep or is he dead? I don't know. Poke him.
Yeah.
Great time.
Great. What do you think, Tyrus?
First of all, you're all extremely insensitive and a bunch of jerks. You know I was invited. Guess who's part of that 500? Me. So thanks a lot, guys. I hope you're happy. Should be a hate crime that I don't get to go. I just wanted to go to be like, why is that guy? Oh, he's here. He's too big to say anything to. So I could make my way all the way up, literally sit next to him, what up, dog? And he'd be like, how'd the Fox News guy get here? Someone want to tell him? No, you know what? Just let him go. Just let me. But now I can't have that joy. Hate crime for Dr. Fauci. Okay, if we're going to do that, let's be consistent. So the Wicked Witch of The View, who called the governor a white supremacist, a murderer, misogynist, eater of children, shouldn't she be fired?
Yeah.
She didn't have... that's pretty much the worst thing you can say about somebody on TV.
Yeah.
So shouldn't we be taking up arms for that?
Yeah, no, it's true.
Or we all just pull up the big boy pants and just call her a wicked witch and move on with our day. Let's grow up, America. But I am pissed I don't get to go now.
Yeah.
Thanks, Greg.
Well, I'll let you know how it is because
I was going to put you in my backpack. And now it's ruined.
That's how we got into Lollapalooza.
What's the new head count? He's 700 down to what?
Close family and friends. And
I know.
apparently
That's
didn't make the cut.
350.
I was going to say, but
With
to
his-
Kat's point, that could be 300 or 400 people.
Yeah, he's got a lot of close friends when you're the president of the United States is still somewhere
Yeah,
in the hundreds.
Springsteen gets to go, but I don't. Whatever.
Yeah, and your music's better. Dehumanizing experience of his life. He denied any wrongdoing in a now deleted tweet. Quote, to be clear, I did not grope anybody. This is just the stupid narrative that the media is pushing. Someone's been watching Andrew Cuomo. Meanwhile, Frontier says they, quote, maintain the utmost value, respect, concern, and support for all of our flight attendants, including those who were assaulted on this flight. Well, you know, my dad used duct tape on everything, but enough about Mom. Kat,
Yeah.
why do the guy's a complete a-hole, but for some reason I feel like that was almost inhumane. Am I wrong?
Yes, because I did so much research.
Yes.
Because I saw this and I was like, okay, this dude on a flight from Philly to Miami, like this is clearly, you know, a frat boy, F-word boy, etc. And I was like, Kat, don't be a judgmental person based on how he looks. So I looked up his Twitter and here's some of his other gems. Ladies, please drop your Cash App. I'll gladly send money. Segs. S-E-G-G-S is how the TikTokers spell sex. And then my favorite, IDK, who needs to hear this, but 6 inches is enough. Okay, these are the things this guy's tweeting. He's clearly flying alone because he told all the, you know, Tinder girls in Philadelphia that he's not ready for a relationship right now. So he can go party in Miami with the boys and, you know, pick up Strange. And you know what?
Pick up Strange.
They say don't judge a book by its cover, but sometimes the cover looks a certain way because of what's in the book.
That's very good. That's very, very good.
Well, I think he must remind you of someone.
Oh, I know that guy. But not that one, but there's a lot of that guy out there.
But you know, what you need here is an intervention. We can share our feelings together. That's the kind of therapy this guy needs.
That's a good point, actually. A lot of the behavior is
drunk.
Is
He was
drunk.
He was drunk, and I'm sure it's not the first time, and it ain't going to be the last time unless he shapes up. And by the way, $2 million is not that impressive.
Don't tell this guy that, though.
Can
He
I
was very
just-
savage.
Can I just say that?
The parents are probably so embarrassed. We're worth so much more. Now the neighbors are going to be laughing at me because I have a used Land Rover and not a new Land Rover. Oh, my God. That's how we knew. The used Land Rover, right? Laura, this is going to follow him forever, though. So is this the apt punishment?
I mean, look, I don't know. I've never seen this done before. This is a new one. I hope to never see this in person. But what's really frustrating, I think, is that this is the kind of person that ruins it for the rest of us.
Yeah.
Like now you get on airplanes, they barely give you anything. You're lucky if you get a drink. They tell you most of them now, no alcohol is served anymore, nothing. It's because of this guy.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. They're the party pooper Tyrus. Should duct tape include this in their commercials?
Yeah, you know what? And shame on Frontier for trying to be polite. He acted a fool.
Yeah.
We kicked his ass. Act accordingly when you come on our plane. We need to stop apologizing when we tell it like it is. He was taped up like that because he was a danger to himself and everyone on there. And when you don't tape him up, you end up with flight attendants with missing teeth.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
When you look at statistics of how much aggression is on planes right now, it's unbelievable. It was like we're already up to like 8,000 cases already of guys getting drunk on planes, taking swings at each other. This is a great life lesson, and they should have this on every billboard of Frontier.
Yeah.
We pick your seat for you, you behave.
That's good.
You know, the best thing for this kid is this could have been a bottom.
Yeah.
Maybe he found the bottom.
Well, no, the bottom was the best thing about you is your parents' finances. That's bottom. That's bottom. You want to go, bro? Do you know my dad works 40 hours a week, bro? What?
$2 million's
What
not
do you
that
do?
good. It just isn't enough.
I don't have to do anything. My parents do anything. You're 35 years old, sir.
My problem is I always keep finding my bottom. All right, up next, the vaccine is causing undue strife. Get the jab or